Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're looking at a source that describes a really different take on early Christianity, one that goes right to the heart of one of its most basic beliefs, by offering a completely different view of Jesus himself.
So that question you're looking at, it's not just some what-if scenario. The source we're diving into today describes a group whose entire faith was built on that exact idea. They believe they're actually following the original path of Jesus, one that has been mostly forgotten. Okay, section 1, a different early Christianity. So who are these people? Well, the group described in our source, they had one main goal: to imitate the historical Jesus and his very first followers. They really wanted to reclaim a kind of devotion to God that they felt the rest of the world had just lost sight of. All right, section 2, one God, the Father. Now, to really get this group, you have to start where they do, with their idea of God. And it's radically simple. Pretty much everything they believe flows from this one core statement of faith from ancient Judaism. And that foundation, it's the Shema. You know, for this group, its importance is just absolute. The source notes put it really plainly. Theologically, the only important thing is to know the Shema. So it's not just one belief, it's the bedrock of their entire way of seeing the world. And this quote right here, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? For them, the math is super simple. The only Most High God is the Father. That's it. End of story. There is no wiggle room for anyone or anything else to share that divine spot. Okay, so section 3, Jesus, the human king. This leads to the big question, right? If the Father is the only God, then what about Jesus? This is really where their beliefs take a sharp, dramatic turn, away from what most of us know as mainstream Christianity. And wow, look at this! The contrast here could not be more stark. On one side, you have the view we're all familiar with, Jesus as the divine Son of God. But on the other, the view from our source, he's a human king of humans. And that one huge difference leads to another major rejection. Yeah, their language on this is, well, it's really strong. They don't just kind of disagree with the virgin birth, they flat out call it a pagan lie. From their perspective, it was this foreign idea that basically corrupted the true human story of who the Messiah was supposed to be. And this is so important to get. For them, this wasn't just, a minor disagreement over details. It was a complete deal breaker. In their worldview, a Jesus born from a virgin, well, he simply could not be the Messiah. It was a total disqualification. All right, section 4, deeds, not empty words. So it makes sense that this really unique theology would totally shape how they thought you should live your life. For them, it wasn't just about what you said you believed. It was all about what you actually did. And what you end up with is this really clear ranking of what matters. Way down at the bottom, empty words or beliefs. But valued way, way higher are actual actions, deeds of compassion and love. And this quote, man, it just says it all. It's not that belief is worthless, but that real, sincere devotion, that's something you show. It's something that has to physically manifest in the world through how you treat other people. And that, for them, is what really pleases God. Okay, section 5, an ancient faith online. Now, you're probably thinking, a group with beliefs this ancient, this different, they must be totally isolated, right? Well, the source shows that's not the case at all. They're using the most modern tools you can imagine to get their message out there. And I mean, they're everywhere, seriously. They've got a big presence on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You can even find their books on Amazon. This ancient way of thinking is now just a click away for pretty much anyone. So what's the big takeaway from all this? I think, ultimately, looking at this source is just this powerful reminder that the story of early Christianity, it was never this one, single, unified thing. Right from the very start, it was a messy, fascinating battle of competing ideas. And so that leaves us with this one last, pretty provocative question to think about. When an idea that goes so against the grain, against the dominant story, manages to survive for centuries, and then finds new life online, what does that really tell us about the nature of faith itself, and about all the hidden, branching paths of history?